Hello everyone, happy almost fall at the start of recording this episode. Happy Sidereal Sun in Virgo. So as of either yesterday, September 15th, or the 16th or the 17th, depending on what date system you want to follow for Sidereal, the sun moved into the sign of Virgo. So with this episode, as I've mentioned in the previous episodes, I'm working on a series where I'm talking about the planetary influences with each of the signs in relation to the tarot. And so we are in Virgo sidereally, though September 22nd, which is on a Sunday this year. Western astrology acknowledges that the sun will be moving into Libra. So, but with these episodes, I'm focusing solely on the sidereal aspect, because when you go take an app or take some form of data, astronomical data tracking, a mapping system of some sort or a device, you'll see that the sun is in the sign of Virgo. We are not in the sign, or like we're not moving towards Libra. We just started Virgo. And what's interesting with this particular sign, I'm going to show you this chart that I have here that I got from Mastering the Zodiac by Athen Chimenti, his site, which is masteringthezodiac.com. This is a system that he created. He created a system called midpoint. So if you could see here, a lot of the dates, with the exception of Libra, but for the most part, they're starting around mid-month when there's a transition of the sun signs from one into another. Now, what throws a little bit, it's not a wrench or a curve, is that in sidereal, there's the recognition of a fucus, which is the 13th sign. And this sign falls between signs of Scorpio and Sagittarius. So people who are normally seen to be Sagittarius, for 11 days, according to Athen Chimenti's date system, between December 7th and 18th, you take on the attributes of a fucus. Now, I don't want to jump ahead into that. I want to focus on the energy of Virgo, but for the most part, I just want those who watch this episode to see that we are seeing more or less the starting of these sun transitions around the middle of the month, like from the 10th to the 14th. We start seeing these transitions. We got the 19th, the 20th, the 14th, the 10th. August 7th starts a little bit earlier. But to jump back to Virgo, you see here September 15th to November 3rd. This is Athen's system, date system. And then we have the 16th for the International Astronomical Union dates, where it sees the sign moves into Virgo. And then Vedic astrology, which is a form of sidereal, we see September 17th to October 17th. Now, these dates are shorter, and their dates are different because there's no acknowledgement of a fucus. And also the fact that when going to Athen Chimenti's site, Virgo is the largest constellation. So for him, the way he explains it, because Virgo is the largest constellation, it's the largest sign, it falls into the month of October. And we usually see, like, I think it's October 20th, the 19th, or the 21st in Western astrology, where Libra is moving into Scorpio. So again, when I discuss this information from a sidereal point of view, take this with a grain of salt. Type in your birth date information. Go to masteringthezodiac.com. Make sure you have your correct date. Not correct date, but your correct time that you were born. If you don't know your time, or you kind of guess, I would say don't even bother doing any form of natal chart, because it does make a difference. The timing is so important. The timing determines your rising sign. So once your rising sign is determined, we already know where the moon is at that time. But your rising sign is almost the kicker to start placing together the rest of your natal chart, including where the houses, where the planets and signs are going to be residing in the houses. I think a rule of thumb is if you're within 4 to 5 minutes difference in your birth date, it's going to change the rest of your chart. So that's why I'm saying that if you don't know your time, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I would say hold off on doing your full natal chart. You can work with the energies of the sun and the moon, but also, the time that you're born, right? Where the degree of the moon is, makes a difference. So the timing is that stamp, it's that moment that you entered into this universe, into this world. And there's also some discrepancies with that too, because, there could be some challenges with time. It could have been the instant that you were released from the womb and brought up to the air, or brought up to the earth. It could have been the moment that you first cried that they do the time. We don't know exactly how they calculate the time, unless it was a home birth and there was someone keeping notes. That's probably the most accurate way of, finding exactly if your birth time is correct. Okay, so with that aside, let's just jump into Virgo. I'm already pulling out some influences of Virgo. I'm being really nitpicky. I'm being particular already with the way that I want to explain some of the attributes of the signs and the planets. So let me take some water here. All right, so let's just throw out the dates. I just want to focus on this energy of Mercury with Virgo. Okay, Mercury's an air sign. Okay, Mercury's an air sign, and this is the Tabula Mundi, a deck that I've been working with since starting this series. And I want to introduce this deck to people, or reintroduce this deck to those who had this deck and maybe they have not worked with it for a while. And then Meleen is just about to release her second deck, which is the Telos, T-E-L-O-S, Tarot 777. It's very thelemic. It has Thoth influences, but what's different with that deck, and I will discuss it once the deck arrives, to me, it takes the journey of the tarot from an astrological decan perspective. So I don't want to say any more than that because I really want to get the deck and explore it. But we're going to see some different interpretations of the major and minor arcana that we see in the Tabula Mundi in relation to the Telos Tarot of 777. It's going to be very interesting. Anyhow, so much information for me. So yes, we have Mercury. Here's our symbol for Mercury. So Mercury deals with, I'm going to put this card down here. Mercury deals with communication, exchange of information, knowledge. Mercury is ruled by Gemini as well, but Mercury is more powerful in the sign of Gemini because Gemini is also an air sign, and Gemini is all about connecting, but connecting more at a mental level. They like to communicate. Their enjoyment comes with speaking to people, learning from people, asking questions. I think I read an article not too long ago, that most of the Nobel Peace Prize winners are Geminis. So, they're inventive. That could be more on the Aquarius side, but they like to understand things. They like to get into the nooks and crannies of things, and that's a strong influence of Mercury. Well, more Mercury in Virgo, being particular, but with Gemini, it's understanding. It's studies, it's learning, it's getting all this information, but also taking it in very quickly. But with Virgo, okay, Virgo is now an earth sign. Okay. And the card that rules Virgo is the Hermit. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about the attributes of Virgo in relation to the planet Mercury. Okay, so we have now air for the magician, the magus, Mercury ruled. So how do we take this element of knowledge, information, communication, and how do we apply it to the Virgo influence of the Hermit? Okay, so with the Hermit, this information, this knowledge is moving inward. Okay, Virgo, yes, Virgo is particular, but they're also practical. They don't like to have too much being thrown at them, you know, and if so, they are going to be discriminatory. They're going to be very particular with the information that they have because they need to make sure that the information that they're getting, how they're understanding it, and how it's going to be applied is going to be of use for them or for their goals or forever or for whatever they want to achieve. Very similar to the Hermit. Okay, the Hermit's on a spiritual journey. Okay, we have the light here. The light is our inner reflection. It's also related to the sun, and I will be talking about the sun with one of the decans that we have here in relation to Virgo. Okay, this is the illumination. This is, I almost want to say this is like the aha moment. Okay, but this is going more internally. You know, we're taking what information that we're applying to ourselves to better understand ourselves and to grow, and just ruminating, spending time with it, you know, breaking it down in its own way. Okay, this light is the inner soul. This light gets brighter the more that awareness comes in. And I like here how we have the circle that we see here with the phase of the moon here, but also we have the sun, so we're seeing the reflection of this energy. We can also maybe see the moon coming in front of the sun. This could be an eclipse of energy coming about. But here, this is the light. This is the light of our soul. And the brighter it becomes, the more awareness we have, the more understanding. And this moon is also an emotional connection for the Hermit to feel this energy that's being transformed within them is making sense. You know, it's coming twofold for them. It's making sense at a logical perspective, but also spiritually and emotionally. Now, with this deck here, the Tabula Mundi, the journey of the Hermit here, Meleen makes mention that the Hermit is going down to the underworld. It's considered the psychopomp. The psychopomp is the guide, is the keeper into the underworld. This is the person who has gone through this realm and has explored it and has gained the understanding and the knowledge of what takes place there. And for those who are going on this journey and about to enter into this realm, the Hermit, the psychopomp, will be there to guide you. And we also have the hand here. You can see we have guidance. And we have the caduceus, the snake, also ruled by the sign of Mercury. And we have the three-headed dog here. These could be elements related to the journey of what's happening here as you enter into the darker realms. These are the guides as well. So there's a communication between our instincts here, following following what we know is right, but also what feels is best for our interests. Okay. So that's the Hermit. Being particular, being discriminatory, not allowing everything or anything to take place, but you know, again, understanding what's happening and experiencing that in a deeper realm. So our next card here, this is our court card, associate with Virgo. This is our Knight of Discs. So Knights are dealing with movement, energy. It's fire of earth, fire for the movement for night. And the discs related to earth. But also one thing I want to mention about Virgo too that we see very clearly here with the Knight is we're also dealing about harvest. We're dealing about things that are fertility, things that are connected to the earth, things that make us grounded. It's a very simple backdrop. There's not a lot of activity going on. There's a moment of stillness as this Knight continues on its journey. It's just taking this time to really reflect. We also see here, I believe this is described in the Tabula Mundi book, Libra Mundi, that this is his drum. Now remember the hand that we see here? It's also here. I'm going to move this a little closer. We also have the tiger. And we also have the eggs. These eggs are reminiscent of the 8 of Discs, which I will be talking about in a moment. But here there's something very simple. Virgo has many different interpretations. The Virgin, it's feminine energy. It's also associated with the High Priestess, and that's something I need to delve into a little bit more in understanding those attributes of the High Priestess being associated with Virgo. But here we're looking at a moment of stability, simplicity, okay? Just relishing in what we have created, what has developed. It's also associated with wheat, Virgo. Virgo is a sign of being of service to people as well. Also deals with health, one's own well-being. But just taking it from a very practical point of view. When you get any earth signs, there's nothing lavish. I shouldn't say elegant, but there's nothing lavish with the earth signs. The earth signs are very real. They're very simple. They don't need a lot of things. If they do need something, and it's something on the expensive side, the thing that we have to keep in mind with earth signs is it's all about what is of great value for them, what they're going to be investing in, how much of themselves, energy, communication, so on and so forth. How much energy, time are they putting into something that means of great value to them? Virgos are reliable in that sense, okay? Virgos work, but they work from a perspective of just eliminating all the fluff and just getting to the tools and the resources that they need to just get the job done or to reach their goals. And that's why I keep using the term very simple, very practical, pretty basic. The earth signs don't really need a lot. They'll need resources, but it's resources that they know will be of great benefit for them. Again, to help them achieve what they need to complete, whether it's goals for themselves, for work, in a relationship, so on and so forth. Okay? So that's a Knight of Discs. Okay? So there tends to be a steady slow movement with Virgo when it comes to getting things done. Now, if any of the earth signs get rattled, that's when that energy gets thrown amiss and things can get chaotic. The signs could get angered. There could be some nervous, neurotic kind of energies. There can be a pushiness with some of these signs because they're feeling all this pressure and they're feeling all this energy that's just being put on them. And earth signs don't like that, especially when it's forced upon them. It changes the whole characteristics and the attitude of the earth signs. So again, we're looking at movement that's being done in a very slow but in a productive manner, working with things that are of great importance to them, being mindful of their resources. I say this quite a bit with the earth signs. We have our hermit. Okay, the hermit is more of the reflective, slow moving side of ourselves. Okay, taking this time to really connect to this light and what we're getting from it and adding more energy into it. Also how we're feeling at this time. Okay, keeping it very basic, trusting our light and making this light grow more as we understand and learn more about our own journey. Magus, Mercury, okay, communication, lots of energy. Again, this is air and earth elements working together. A lot of quick movement, which Virgos can handle, but it's done in a way that this, for me, this depiction here, imagery wise, this feels more like the energy of Gemini energy, because Geminis like to move quick. They do things very quickly. They can also change their mind sometimes, but that's that influence of Mercury. But here, Mercury gets Virgoized, and we slow this energy down. It's still getting information. It's still understanding what's going on, but it's putting it in a different pace. Again, look at the night. There's no fast movement. It's steady. It's taking time to literally take in and see what has been developed, and then the night continues moving forward. All right, so let's go and talk a little bit about our decans. Our decans here for Virgo are 8, 9, and 10 of discs. Now I'm going to move this here because Mercury is associated with the 10 of discs. So I'm just going to put this here for now. So our 8 of discs, remember I was talking about the eggs that we see here in our Knight of discs. That's on the drum. Okay, 8, 9, and 10. These last 3 decans, all in the sign of Virgo, is showing different levels of abundance. Virgo is a sign that when things need to be done and they do it in their own fashion, they can be very successful. I'm not saying all the other signs aren't, but Virgo just has a natural ability to work in situations if they put a steadiness to it. There's a lot of chaos in it, and there's various forms of instability surrounding Virgo when it comes to achieving these different levels of success and goals. It's going to take longer. It's going to be very confusing. It's like they had their direction, and then something comes in and throws it for a riff, and they kind of lose their flow in a sense. Okay, because once Virgos have something set and they're directed to it, they want to keep to it. There's that dedication that they have. Remember too what I was saying, they like to be of service. Okay. Also nothing, Virgos rule like the nervous system. Okay, so the nerves, if there's a lot going on, can be agitated, and that's that Mercury influence. Okay, so the nerves need to be taken care of for Virgos. Okay, or we'll see another side of them that, won't be of benefit for them and for other people. So here we have the 8 of discs. This is prudence. Okay, here are the eggs, but we're seeing them in a larger scale. And here's the light. Okay, here's the light that we see here with the Hermit. We're seeing all this information, all this influence, all this energy that's guiding this Hermit. The Sun, since we just came out of Leo, I'm going to show you the Sun card, full of life. This is a very influential card for anyone born during the 8 of discs time. So keep in mind too, the decans run pretty much almost every 10 days. So being now for sidereal astrology, if I follow the dates for my calendar here, so we have the 16th that the Sun was in Virgo, add 10 days to that. So from the September 16th to the 26th, those 10 days will be the 8 of discs, will be the decan for the 8 of discs. Okay, from the 27th, add 10 days to that to the 7th, then we're going into our 9 of discs. So we're going to the end of September, the 27th, to October 6th or 7th. This will rule this decan for Virgo. Okay, this is sidereal. It's not Western. Okay, so because when you look at the DOF system, those dates that they have for the decans are, and also some other decks, like this deck here in particular, they don't focus on the dates here. But the decks that do focus on the decans with set dates, they're all Western astrology. They're not sidereal. Okay, so we're looking at the 6th or 7th of October, and then we have October 7th or 8th, add 10 days to that. October 18th, this would take care of the decan of Virgo. But remember what I was saying. Athen sees Virgo for the entire month of October. So to do the decans based on the system is going to be pretty difficult. I would just stick with the dates by just adding 10 days. Okay. So it's not gonna take care of all of October, but at least we get the influences of where Virgo is. Or you can add a few more days because we have here September 15th to November 3rd. That's almost 3 weeks. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's a month. That's about 6 weeks of the sign being in Virgo. So you can play with those dates if you want, but I feel ideally I would just work with this from a tarot perspective to do the decans. Sidereally, it's going to be very hard if you use that midpoint system for 6 weeks of the sign in Virgo. It's just the decans can't be broken up like that. So yes, so we have here our 8 of discs. I sidetracked a little bit. The Sun influence, vitality, life force. But this is the life force within us. Okay, and here too, I like how we see here with the 8 of discs, this light is right above these eggs, like it's incubating it. It's like getting ready for the energy that's going to be released. It's like little mini Orphic eggs. Orphic eggs have the potential. They show what's been developed and produced inside, and when it's ready to be released, it extends a different aspect of who we are. All right, so our 9 of discs. Okay, so we're going to go from the 16th to the 26th for the 8 of discs. That's September 16th to the 26th. Then let's go from the 27th to maybe October 7th, September 27th to October 7th. And we have here the 9 of discs. Okay, And so this is with the element of Venus, which is ruled here by the Empress. Okay, we have the hand appearing. There's the hand here. And this is one thing that's wonderful with Meleen's decks here. She throws in influences from the decans into the major arcana. It's like they're all intertwined. We see little icons, symbols that relate back to from the minor arcana to the major arcana and vice versa. So here with our 9 of discs, okay, ruled by the Empress, Venus. Let me talk a little bit about Venus. Okay, Venus is about our environment, our comfort level, our health. What are we doing to take care of this? And here again, we see the sheaths of wheat related to Virgo for fertility and for abundance, for growth. Virgo is part of the harvest season. Our first harvest was Lammas for August 1st. And our second harvest is coming up on Mabon, September 22nd. That's the second harvest. And our third harvest is Samhain, Halloween, October 31st. So there are all these different stages. The second stage of the harvest are autumn equinox, Mabon. This is what this energy is all about. Here we see the energy that of what was produced, what was created, what was developed. And now we're seeing the results of it. We see the hand representing the work. We have the bees, obviously the workers that follow the queen bee, if you will. Here we have the honeycomb. And if you look closely here, that's a heart, maybe hard to see. This is where all this energy comes from. This energy comes from our effort. We enjoy creating this kind of work. And here we have the heart of the Empress. She is the goddess of the land, the creator, the creatrix. We have the bees, we have the phases of the moon, we have the stars on her scarf. Intuition is what's guided as well as doing the work. And this 9 of discs, we're starting to see the completion. We're starting to see the fruition of this energy of the 9 of discs, of gain. It's being dedicated, doing the work, and putting all those resources, putting all this good energy into it, and starting to see the results. See, a very different pictorial take from the RWS and other decks. Okay, our next and last one are 10 of discs. Here we are with Mercury. And we're seeing wealth, we're seeing success, we're seeing achievement. Okay, so here our DJ has the wings of Hermes. See all this energy, all this movement. The hand coming up here with the sword. I mean, the magus here, the magician, is the person who works with all these elements. Earth, air, fire, water, cups, swords, pentacles, and wands. And masters, has control over all of these. That's what the magician is, the controller. But knowing what's really important is, as the magician or the magus, is we may have control over all these elements, but how are we using the control? Are we using it in a positive way, or are we using it to be deceptive, which is another side of the magician, and also Mercury? If these skills are used in a deceptive manner, like someone who's a brain, but someone who knows that they're so above the knowledge of other people that they can use it to actually hurt and harm people. Okay, that's the negative side. But here, okay, let's just focus on the good here with our Ten of Discs for wealth, abundance. We see Mercury here, the different positions of placement. We see our pentacle. We see the sun. We see Mercury. And here's the element here, like the solar system, celestial, here in the background, like the galaxy. This is the universe taking control and charge of our own universe. And by doing so, by putting in these simple, practical thoughts, not getting convoluted with so many different things, but mastering and understanding how to work through situations, you'll start seeing different levels of success. Okay? I feel what's really important with Mercury is to really understand the importance of knowledge and what we're communicating and what we're hearing and what we're researching, all of this. You know, the internet is just a powerful tool. Everyone knows that. There's so much there. But you also have to be mindful. Not everything that we see there is what it, is cracked up to be. We have to really be diligent and really be mindful of the information that we're getting there, or that we're getting, through various sources. I want to see here, he has something on his hand, and I believe, can't really tell, those could be the rest of the signs. This could be the signs that are on his right hand on the pentacle. But anyhow, it's just, let's understand, let's use this energy of Virgo for being discriminatory. Okay, I'm not saying in a racial way or anything, but just being discriminatory in the sense of being particular. Be picky. Okay, there's a reason why we're selective with things. Okay, and why we are drawn to some things and why we are moved away from other things. But there are times that sometimes things come to us that we really don't want to have, but we need, and that's where we need to be a little bit more open to explore some things. So that's going to be hard for Virgo, but for the most part, if by using this energy of Mercury, asking questions, looking at everything, seeing the perspective. Let's say it's the box of a situation, looking at all the different angles, the top view, the bottom, the inside, the out. Really look at everything instead of jumping and making, heated choices. Be mindful of this. And again, remember here the Hermit. The Hermit is a quiet soul, listening inside. It's steady. And that's something that all of us need to do. We are very fiery. We're a very fiery universe. We're very reactive with things, and we tend to jump ahead, to do things, to say things, which could actually not be in our best interest. So for this month of Virgo, again, sidereally, it's like 6 weeks long, but if you can just follow this and maybe prolong those days, for 8 of discs for the first decan in Virgo, 9 second decan of Virgo, 10 third decan, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of abundance and potential here. It's just knowing how to use this. And actually, this is our last earth sign, because we move, the next earth sign that comes is going to be during Yule the winter solstice, where the sign will be Capricorn Sagittarius. Okay, and so during that winter time, Yule, and that time of Capricorn energy and Sagittarius energy, we're actually getting ready. We're starting to like build energy up towards spring. Here, we're waning. Okay, we're like, this is like the crescendo. Everything that we've done from spring to fall, this is where everything comes to its highest peak. And then with spring, when during this time of the winter months of hibernation, we're not really not doing anything, we're actually preparing. Winter is a time of preparation. Autumn is the time of celebrating everything that we've worked for, no matter how little or how big. We need to celebrate what we've gained. It could be physically, it could be emotionally, spiritually. Take a look at those things from spring to where we are right now in fall, as we get ready for fall. And use those attributes of Virgo, okay? And just, this is the energy, we're in the waning season. So Virgo represents, moving slow, okay? And taking the time that's needed to really acknowledge everything. Okay, even though we have this fast-moving planet of Mercury as an influence for Virgo, the actions of Mercury with Virgo is coming more in a steady manner. Slow movement, taking a moment to see everything. Here, we are moving slowly, following our light, trusting it fully. Okay, so this week is our 8 of discs. Okay, so if you want to work from September 15th, 16th, or 17th, any of those dates, add 10 days to that. And you can work with this energy of being prudent when it comes to what you are currently almost completing. Think about what has been created so far and what has been manifested. And use the Knight of Discs to take a moment of reflection. All right, so here we are. This is Virgo ruled by Mercury. So next month, we're going to, well, not really next month, but in November, we're going to start focusing on this energy of Libra. And that's ruled by Venus. So again, Venus is ruled by Taurus, but we're going to talk about Venus in relation to an air sign now. Air sign is Libra. Here we had a planet that's ruled by air, but it's dealing with an earth element. So we'll explore that, but for now let's focus on this energy of Virgo. Slow, steady, practical, being particular, prudent in our actions, but still moving forward, building this light within us for inspiration, but also for productivity in what we're doing. And also to be there for people. Watch for your health as well, Virgo. For nervousness, it rules the nervous system, so we don't want to get too agitated with things. Move at a steady pace. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful week. Happy early autumn equinox. Again, that takes place on Sunday, the 22nd. And I am going to do a live on that Sunday. And we're going to talk about the energy of Mabon and the autumn equinox. And I'd like everyone to join me. So stay tuned for that. Have a wonderful week, though, between now and next weekend. And any questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments below. If you are a Virgo, a true Virgo, take a look at your Western chart and your sidereal chart. You'll see if you are a true Virgo. And what I mean by a true sign is that you're both that sign in sidereal and in Western. Okay, So in sidereal, you could be thought of as, or in Western, you could be thought of as a Virgo, but you can actually be a Leo. So if you're born September 16th onward, and you find in Western astrology, those dates kind of overlap a little bit towards the end part of the Western tropical astrology of Virgo, you can actually be Virgo on both of those sides. If that didn't make sense, just send me a message. I'm happy to explain it to you. Alrighty, thank you for watching and listening. Everyone, let's do this work. Okay, this is our last earth sign of production and of harvesting and of achievements, personal achievements, and at many different levels. Let's bring this fall to a nice, beautiful end and celebrating what we have gained from the time of spring to where we are right now. All right, I will see you all again soon. Thank you for watching.